The house is 1833, but the farm has been here, I'm sure, way longer than that. My grandparents, and they're part of it, they purchased this in 1974, moved in 76 or 77, so like the year that I was born. So this house has been in my life forever. You know, I grew up here and spent many, many, many days as a young child here. And my grandparents were both very vested in Lebanon County and Lebanon community. My grandfather and his family, farming is their life. He was so proud of this, his pride and joy. She loved this house, she loved this farm. To think about not having it as a farm and working as a farm is very sad. It's sad to everybody involved. So the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail has been expanding in Lebanon County for years, and there is a railroad bed that runs through this property that's been abandoned for 40 plus years. They are insisting on coming through. Part of the issue is there's some legal issues with who actually owns the railroad bed. We felt that the land reverted back to the landowner. In 2012, the holding company for the railroad sold this piece of land to the county for the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail. So they firmly believe that they own the property. We firmly believe that it is our still property. We have been using it for 40 years. We've maintained it. We have paid for gravel for this trail that, you know, the railroad bed that basically is a road at this point. If we are unable to use the trail to access all of the fields and the pastures that we use, there is a very strong possibility that this farm will go, it would be unusable, it would not be a viable working farm. And then here sits 130 acres. So what do we do at that point? We use it to get back and forth to the different fields. We've tried for years to negotiate with them on this as far as needing shared use for the trail. We cannot have shared usage. It's dangerous around farm equipment. And when you have kids and dogs and, you know, whatever, they are, you know, they can jump out, you know, there's different, you know, safety issues at play. And again, the reason that we are trying to stick to that particular area and that trail area is because there are streams, there are wetlands, there are DEP and EPA regulations that we are trying to follow, but I don't think that that is of concern to them. Their main goal is getting this trail through. It's going to court because of that to finalize for all who physically owns that land. One of the things that they have threatened to do is to sue us for their lost grant money. Who knows whether they'll actually do that or not? I don't know. Whether it's just a scare tactic. You know, myself, my cousins, my aunts, it's a tough situation to deal with. And you know, the farm physically is farmed by my grandfather's brother's family. It's their livelihood. So if that's not going to be feasible, I don't know what the end result would be. Yeah, it's kind of emotional, especially since both of my grandparents passed away. They both died in the last 2 years. My grandfather just passed away in October. My grandmother passed away in October 2 years ago. So with both of them gone, and my grandmother was such a fighter with stuff like this that, you know, I keep trying to think she would be very proud of us right now. So, sorry. Because this was very important to her family first, but just fighting against things like this that are, feel wrong. It's hard because they're not here and we can't ask them. I talk to my aunt all the time and I say, what would grandma say? What would she say in this situation? She was so wise. What would she tell us to do? It's tough. It's very tough. So just I just hope that people would understand how much this means to the family and how much it means to us to try to prevent the farm from breaking up, because that's not what my grandparents ever would have wanted. It's not what any of us want. That's the last thing that we would ever hope would happen to this beautiful property.